Hello, my name's Michael Keneally and this video tells you all about a super creative full moon on the 9th of March. It's actually part 5 of my March Star Wheel Astrology and Healing newsletter, so look out for the introduction parts and also parts 1 to 4. Now, do hear what has to be said about the 9th of March full moon, because the plus side of it is a very rich, sensitive, intuitive, visionary offering. And indeed, we need such a sensitive, intuitive, visionary offering to cope with and navigate through the really amazingly vast and fierce energies that are going on at the same time, namely Pluto and Saturn, Jupiter and Mars, all transiting conjunct at the start of Vedic Capricorn in Uttarashada Nakshatra. And what's going on there at the start of Vedic Capricorn and Uttarashada Nakshatra is like the pivot of a fierce energy offering possibility of consciousness shift and realigning our life at this time. Part 1 newsletter video talks all about the vastness of what's going on in the first 8 degrees of Vedic Capricorn in Uttarashada Nakshatra with those 4 planets. But this video focuses on the full moon of the 9th of March, and it's actually at 25 degrees Vedic Aquarius. The sun of it is at 25 Vedic Aquarius conjunct Neptune. So that's full moon at 19 Western Pisces with Neptune at 18 Western Pisces. So let's get down to the center of this. But actually I've just realized before I do, and this is in the blog post which accompanies this video, first of all I have to advise that this is a Kalsarpa Yoga full moon. Kalsarpa Yoga is when all the Vedic planets are to one side of the nodal axis, and this makes the energy of the time or the person born at the time of Kalsarpa Yoga preposterous and divisive. Of course they can heal that and find the deep spiritual healing that is within any challenge. But Kalsarpa Yoga is ferocious through March 2020. And one of the points about Kalsarpa Yoga is that for half the month the moon is out on its own, unsupported, with all the other Vedic planets to the other side of the nodal axis. And this is called a Kimadruma moon. And I'm talking now about the full moon of the 9th of March. So this is an unsupported full moon. And so it's really good to hear this warning or piece of advice that the run-up time and the after time and the peak time of this full moon could be problematic for our, the stability of our consciousness, for the management of our minds. And so take particular care at this time to embody, maybe use affirmations. Don't go in for overthinking, over-emoting. Maybe concentrate on physical tasks, physical activities for the body. So having said that, we're now ready to actually look at the contribution that the full moon's Sun conjunct Neptune can offer. So The Vedic and the Western charts are in the blog for this video, so have a look at those. But the first thing to note is that Sun is very, very close to Neptune, 1 degree. And what does it mean to have a Sun-Neptune energy? Well, the positive side is sensitivity, compassion, vision, active imagination, soul life. I'm reading here from Reinhold Ebertin's wonderful combination of stellar influences. And the people this moon will particularly help are visionaries, mediums, sensitives, people using energies and earth energies. But there is a danger, obviously, with Sun conjunct Neptune, and the worst is alcohol. But it's like weakness and drain and illness, and if you have that in your birth chart, you absolutely mustn't give in to the negative sides, absolutely must bring healing to bear. That's a lifetime task with a close Sun conjunct Neptune conjunction. And so the negative sides are also drugs, illusion and self-deception, moodiness, frailness, impressionability, sluggishness, weakness, sickness. So I think it's a really useful piece of warning and advice to hear the two-edged potentials of this full moon on the 9th of March. And therefore be prepared to utilize it. And certainly, I live here in the wonderful, beautiful, mystical west of Ireland. And in fact, I lead visionary Sacred West of Ireland tours, which you can find detail of on my Druid Forest School website. And I most certainly want to be in one of the beautiful woodlands, such as the woodland beside Loch Gill, where W.B. Yeats wrote The Stolen Child and the Lake Isle of Innisfree, or on one of the very high energy rock sites that there are around here, and benefit from the energies that are coming through from the heavens to us at this time, connecting to the earth. And that's really important. We need to connect to the earth. We must be grounded. And so we must bring the beauty and the inspiration through into our groundedness. But there is a fascinating further dimension to this full moon on the 9th of March 2020. And that is that the Sun-Neptune conjunction of it are in Purvabhadra Nakshatra. And this is an interesting energy. So basically Purvabhadra is ruled by Jupiter, and its power animal is the male lion. And so its qualities are fierce and male, and some say headbanging, but I wouldn't say that to one of them. And I think I'm referring here to the wisdom of the nakshatras, the 27-sign lunar zodiac of Vedic astrology, which must be used in conjunction with the sidereal zodiac, or you get the nakshatra boundaries completely wrong. And the guidance we get from from the nakshatra energy, where we have a planet in that nakshatra, is absolutely vast. The nakshatra wisdom, which is so very ancient, which is based on the position of the moon as it travels through the 27 constellations in a lunar month, vastly affects our identity, our life path, our destiny. And the declaration is warts and all, negatives, very accurately displayed, very accurately when you go down into the nakshatra padas. and the positives which we need to seek to have identified for us and to maximize in our life. I actually teach a nakshatra course, so do have a look at that in my Master Vedic Astrology website and enroll on it. But the Sun, Venus of this full moon on the 9th of March gets the full Purvabhadra energy. The guna triplicity for Purvabhadra is Sattva, Sattva, Rajas. So it is desirous and it is intensely spiritual, double Sattva. But the Devata connection of this nakshatra, and remember the essence of the energies in each nakshatra is in fact the energy of the stars within that portion of the heavens. And of course, coming from the stars, each star has a very different energy, benefic or frightening even, which has a devata or divine, a face of the divine energy in itself. And the devata energy of Purvabhadra, where this full moon is, where this super visionary, super sensitive, mystical full moon is death and destruction and the path to rebirth. Well, that is so important to connect with at this time, what's going on in Vedic Sagittarius. And I'll mention that in a moment, and it's actually the subject of part 1 blog for my March Astrology and Healing newsletter. So Purvabhadra is associated with the fire dragon and his brother, the water dragon. And these two dragon energies are the sons of Vishvakarma, the creative heavenly architect. So what a wonderful energy this is if it's experienced at its best. And it'll be pouring out to us at the time of this full moon. The serpent path to transcendence. The serpent path to transcendence. Rebirth through destructive storm. Rebirth through destructive storm. And yes, it is a time of destructive storm indeed. So yes, see my part 1 of the March newsletter about what the very rare planetary combination in Vedic Capricorn, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter and Mars all together in the first 8 degrees of Vedic Capricorn in Uttarashadha Nakshatra. My goodness. And this particular Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter combination is very rare. It hasn't been around since the 13th century. And so we, all of us, but especially people with planets in the start of Capricorn and in Uttarashadha Nakshatra, especially if their moon is there and they're in deep Sadhisate, are having destruction. But what is being destroyed? Well, it is false identity construction. We may have been told who we are by our parents and by this society that we live in. That's a lie. And we need to find our true identity and the path of our true identity. We need to create a strategy now and take up our holy grail and go forward in the sense of the Knights of the Round Table of King Arthur. It's that sort of death and rebirth and sacred journey time if you really contact the energies that are in early Vedic Capricorn. And what better gift to help you and me contact those energies and find our right strategy and way of life, our future direction, our future goal, than to have the gift of this full moon. The gift of this full moon of the 9th of March, where the sun is at 25, Vedic Aquarius conjunct Neptune. in Purvabhadra Nakshatra. Thank you.